T case K.
So we know y'all know what that is. Great, everyone good? We literally ban all forms of targeted killing. The plain text says targeted killing, single strikes, or target. Their distinction is factually incorrect. There's 13 strikes, targeted killing, the supposed target killing, service killing is contracts. There are two other forms of cover ups. There are two other forms that their evidence assumes cover ups. The other one that by using drone strikes, we need to cover ups. Otherwise, the affirmative claims is low effect. Stop. That's not extra T. B, because we can still solve for the drone strike. We can still solve for drone strike because we affirm for restriction of target killing within our plain text. Also, we don't restrict the ground. We never know like this. That's a good random to prove this. And how are we bidirectional? There's no way that we can increase the woman's authority. B, for two reasons. When the affirmative restricts the authority to conduct any form of target killing operations outside of the president's office. Also, the second one is that we would have claimed spillover effect on other forms of war powers authority, which means that we can there is no way that we actually can increase. We allow for switch side debate because they can argue this sets on the negative. Go to the case. The role of the ballot in this round is both the team of best presents the method to deconstruct militarism when they act the way sees the foundation of commerce balance most of the broad spectrum. The rhetorical power of the office uniquely key the war powers authorities and allow for the nature of crisis and security with working within the state is key to solve because the persistence speech act does indicate that through concrete action can impact section be addressed. Two is coalitional politics. Anti-war is the best starting point to coalitions to over power social justice movements. Their criticism necessarily places them opposed to this coalition, which means the affirmative can spill up to the K, but the alternative can never spill up to the F. That's Hini and Roja, and specific demands are critical, so we must fight every instance of militarism. Negative 11. Non-violence perspectives symbolic power suddenly predominant because with their nature of conclusion to over to the violence must succeed must be overcome to miss the drum 9/11 works power you know the answer take back space for mindful discourse. The impact is endless with the ideology of militarism just where they ensures that there are infinite amount of targets that exist in the world. The United States militarism constructing United States in recent decades. More 200 killed soldiers, more death occurred battlefield and abandoned and people have been willing to relinquish the survival of the earth and the national security militarism single large clouds of Earth in a collapsed state. But we don't defend the state in every instance. We just think that it's done some really terrible things. We just advocate for it. When that display is supposed plan activation, we can just say another reason that the current would solve on the K. That does not give him a masculine gun case. Cross-apply these cards. Cross-apply these cards out to read to the critique their impacts, not the stereotype called 88. The state has what's representations of these being self-responsible responsibility of the state self-responsible responsible for friends to the logical representation as an individual to the virtue of the devices of the national public self-being good and the doors of an individual collectivity. And all the reasons to say that as a reason to vote affirmative engagement means we can know the tactics of the oppression. William said it's the word to think that when they self-proposed isolation militant set against revolutionary militant speaker with methods. The effective circle regards the plans of here to the heavy blow or the styles of establishment. Go to the critique. One interpretation against plan against policy offshore status quo impacts state governance number non policy circuits and making reason impossible research. B, even if no government interpretation can weigh impacts in a way so makes it impossible for us to see. They got fast moving target makes it impossible to make this independent voting issue. We can't read our arguments that don't link. If we don't know what the alternative is, two, the alternative has to take material action to address arguments against case or that the doesn't solve it's about taking the ethical stance. D, not those arguments and three, that they must connect their concerns must connect their alternative to policy concerns and institutional practice. Absent these questions shift and all production useless. Governments obey institutional logic that exists independently of individuals and constrain decision making. White 6. Relation to their identity, the moment individually and managed relation is the last working sure the disciplined and individual kids at the point of contract between human institutional structure to the point of reason practical reviewers can refute that social activity can understood in terms of individuals to make social field finds and institutional records having a political with the institutional performance are have more matter routine with Alex Mr. Ray for supporting the knowledge of society existing in individual judges in a particular moment give that behavior is institutional must be some sort of relation government because the explanation can be reduced conscious of individual society is complex and reality has no flaws for specificity outweighs generic epistemology and dax generic doesn't acquire knowledge. Well, not because of the epistemology of yes, or it's out social work, is correct natives that have accumulated that also has the field of individual criteria the reflection applied, which arguments for the evidence of every that suggests knowledge production for something that we need besides because it provides rich practical control because it will be spin in prevent virtual sensitivity and promising because often positive heuristics to challenge individual boundaries. Ethical policy making must regard the consequences side to accomplish people must be necessary and concern organized and political course of career when not even when technical civil advance and just will require score pass policy and just practice for action mode of action world absolute system names the aliens of effectiveness, suffering outweighs only concrete action solves. Ling, one of the smart 50 people starting the many crises, those in the Burn Hills, exploitation, starvation, people where they have the overthrowing the technical small about action, so from the recycled discourse developed practice of the analysis, construction, the particular size of the total and because response to the double that precise those are the victims through a essential this is that's reason lower obligation. Perm, do both the only way to achieve to change the policy relevance, getting 7 field things about possible not fulfillment, potential intimidation, critical work, marrying, particular, maybe not possible, that's change of the curriculum, details also in the holiday cares of the word, relation and paradox. Other than several people in the sense of the professions have also have the concrete alternatives as well as the fact that they divide the word self to problems. Because activating the opposites outside the power structure of the because the power of the constellation power structure of the curriculum transform either morally or practically do bad policy where it's perm to the plan and the alternative group their solvency of the arguments, K is to take out the app, even if the plan never happens that no objective be critical intellectuals that's vital to change political structures. Don't and on the central policy of the taker of the individual and the structure that kind of engineering this counter taxes the educational because every electrical engineering is necessary for the cultural branch of the industry furnishes. The example of progressive developments have been possibly influenced by organic intellectuals operating within the states of particular power structure will create example pieces of movements 98. If the ideas of the intellectuals encourage and increase activism, they have the non-short policy to dominate this strategy and security far more important relation long term. Similar perspective effect where unit debt has a particular impact and morally munis behavior because this concept of adopting this critical intellectuals and policy beliefs to a world making the world better in the same place because such a movement is also trying to address the intellectuals that has started to produce a fairly world drawing attention to normative people such as not the mainstream think about the security behind the policy of essay because the prospect of security critical structure so that the social movements and property and social critical theories can perform a role supporting strong social movements. That also answers back there. That also answers back their arguments because this proves that it will be inevitable that we're going to try to solve for violence and status quo. That means that the affirmative is not uniquely key and they don't get their link. Based on that, the K can't solve an exceptionalism, but the F can. Or Garuda evidence indicates that policy details are critical to preventing any kind of abuse of state power because the state can right now justify to kill anybody because the state must limit the defensive force and then how that limit is applied. And political game playing and simulation engage with elevator radical activism. Tally 7. Consider the possible sides ahead, squared off weapons with clear whatever rules because of goals, because officers swing somebody with superficially to among people regards to the activism because the debate is conceived of solution and to their accounting because of the South African gas up but not the role playing off because Northern cars because that's the competition for cars will make an option placing the car system that allows for to keep the government to see individual politics for running search car. No root cause letting since our thought of actions pointless violence laws personally called code 97. We must be aware of the temptation to reject not his to warnings and light and rejection of reason to exercise still more than resentment and future ethics and blame reason to value for vehicles and reasons to reject law reason. This is our logical but not within our method. Universal something off of which when we're focused and focus on dominated. Their short as far as a few things. One is that the president is key for focusing our innovation and our investigation, but that's not like if that is true, then the affirmative is key to break this down because we can deconstruct the war powers of the president. They also say that the more we fight war on terror, the more we fight war on terror is bad. The affirmative obviously addresses we say that just war theory is the key reason that we are doing this right now. They don't have any kind of defense against just war theory, which means that we can solve the back to that. Also, they say go back and that's not necessarily true because the war on terror is probably a bad thing because then war on terror is a bad thing if they're winning that the war on terror justifies the security state. That means that the affirmative is key to breaking that down. Their critique is power structure, diffuse and persuasive, not going to be identified in specific concrete ways, and analysis of engagement with political economy is necessary to identification and understand power relations. The opposite prerequisites critique. That's not doing the normification of power, the dead power being some of the media and some information side making power phenomenon sports structure and details and possible structure to do central relation with face. But directly like the political economy not able to analysis production social relations produce power relations down to exclusion and supporting you feel common or provide negative perspectives or but just time because we're not blended with the importance of the economy, state restriction, the denomination of neglecting or range of economy and environmental and political issues. The K duplicates simulation at a very deeper or more dangerous level, hiding from the view and entrenching it in uniquely ways worse than the Athens status quo. 9 simulation that's much better than do research because perfect concept guys and help the recycling the example of the status is more consent of religious acceptance consent to the spiritual world and to formally philosophy system to disengage and ask and the concept of point of the religious concept description as evidence with subject of the works and the opposite of always considered as a variable power for a few descriptions of the reality can capture the general process and then the essence of subject object. Baudrillard's revision of reality since Descartes absolutely concerning that as uncertain because lacking explanation of empirical simulation as mirror reflection of Baudrillard's concept of no empirical contradiction from its conclusion simulates empirical indeterminacy. But Descartes determines they confuse truth claims with claims of truth. The fact that truth claims is wrong proves we should search harder to find the real truth. So code 97. The academic structure of the artificial powers is insulated from the real world consequences of blind fact because the reality is not the purpose powerful weapons of pressures. The purpose of the placement of ideas because it has its intellectual supply the reason for the logic produce which are lots of state in the world we have to create some truth and find some dead and some certain and the new substance is something that makes truth the fact that we truth cannot be restricted to doing so strict example that was scripted and blind truth because of the roots of which will become white winners. Their method amounts to solving thinking under objective realities because there's some universal understanding not the way it works in 9 that means we can never engage with socially or politically stuff. So well 96 in particular ground the nonsense link that denies objective realities are false and the world would present developing the social constructive facts and reality exists learning is ever sort of concealed through language having logical and superfluous and comprehensive because of value and illusion and substituting for logic and logic but the card there also predictions like the Africa de Laos would say permanent emergency that's key to agency that means the K can never solve back to the F process.
Okay, one question. What does the simulation card have anything to do with Baudrillard? Baudrillard that we read?
Sure. Well, there are obviously many forms of Baudrillard, but the Baudrillard that you actually the
not
exact card that you're talking
simulation and
about.
simulacra. It had nothing to do with anything.
The tally card?
Yeah, the simulation card that you just read. Indicting Baudrillard simulations, which we didn't read.
Well, are you talking about tally evidence or?
No, just go.
Judge votes F, what happens?
Sure. The affirmative outside of this debate space is key to coalitional politics, which will spill over and affect the broader spectrum.
What action do you take?
What
Action do you take?
we take an action of presenting the 1AC in this round.
You continually keep saying that we need to take a policy action in the framework. What action does the affirmative take?
Sure. Well, through fiat, we pass the plan to the United States federal government within this debate space. That means that if the round is based upon in-round impacts, that probably means the affirmative can solve that for the impacts occurring in the status quo through militarism.
Okay. So on your framework, you say that we don't know the alternative, but we must take material action. Why is this important?
Sure, it's good ground because our best arguments against case are that the alt doesn't solve. If we take an ethical stance that denies us any kind of solvency deficits to the alternative.
If we prove that you're unethical through your stance, why is that a bad thing?
If you prove that we're unethical through our stance, that would be a debate we would have to have. I mean, I'm not going to be.
But why is that bad?
Why is us being unethical bad?
Why are ignoring ethics bad?
Sure. Our Isaac evidence indicates a few things. One, it indicates that it has to be grounded in consequentialism because we have to attend unyielding concern with moral goodness, undercuts any kind of political responsibility. It fails to see that the purity of one's intentions are actually what they intend. The third thing is it fails to see that politics are the effects of action rather than the motives of action.
Let's go back to the purity argument. Can you explain or elaborate more on that?
Sure. It says that whenever we have any kind of moral focus other than grounded in consequentialism, i.e. who can send the most lives to extinction, etc., then it undercuts any kind of political responsibility and political effectiveness.
Oh, what was just a couple of things. Your role of the ballot was?
To go for the team who presents the best method to deconstruct militarism.
Militarism?
Yes.
Perm do both, perm do plan, and the alternative?
Mm-hmm.
How does the perm do both function?
Sure. So our gunning evidence indicates that we can only achieve true change through policy relevance. If the affirmative is winning that true change is possible and it's inevitable within the status quo, then our gunning evidence indicates that it's only possible through the political spectrum because that's the only way that we can actually pass things into law in other nations, other people will actually follow back